Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about adjectives and adverbs. Let's start with adjectives. But first let me mention the main difference between these two. Adjectives are used to modify nouns. For example, the dog is loud. What's the dog like? Loud. Adverbs are used to modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. For example, the dog barks loudly. How does the dog bark? Loudly. So adjectives are describing words, and there are many kinds of adjectives, but here we'll only deal with the main kinds. The purpose of an adjective is to give you a clear picture of the noun as it has a describing function. For example, a tall tree. Here you immediately have a clearer picture, as tall, the adjective, describes the tree, the noun. Most adjectives in English are easy. They are simply placed next to the noun they describe, and they don't change regardless of what happens to their nouns. For instance, the big table, the big tables, a red house, red houses. So here are different types of adjectives. Opinion adjectives. An opinion adjective explains what you think about something, and other people might not agree with you. Examples are silly, beautiful, horrible, and difficult. Size adjectives. A size adjective, of course, tells you how big or small something is. Examples are large, tiny, enormous, and little. Age adjectives. An age adjective tells you how young or old something is. Examples could be ancient, new, young, or old. Shape adjectives. A shape adjective describes the shape of something. Examples are square, round, flat, and rectangular. Colour adjectives. A colour adjective, of course, describes the colour of something. Examples are blue, pink, red, and grey. Origin adjectives. An origin adjective describes where something comes from. Examples are French, lunar, American, Eastern, and Greek. Material adjectives. A material adjective describes what something is made of. For instance, wooden, metal, cotton, and paper. Purpose adjectives. A purpose adjective describes what something is used for. These adjectives often end with ing. Examples are sleeping, as in sleeping bag, or roasting, as in roasting tin. Now, before we move on to the adverbs, let's quickly have a look at this activity 1. Make up an adjective to describe the following nouns. The main thing here is that your adjective should suit the noun it's describing. Have a look at the slide. Next in our agenda is the adverb. An adverb is a word used to modify a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Most adverbs end in ly. Just as an adjective, it makes the meaning of a noun or pronoun more definite, more specific. An adverb makes the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or an adverb more definite, more specific. How to form the adverb? Please have a look at this slide. Adjective plus ly. Sad, sadly. Quiet, quietly. Nervous, nervously. Soft, softly. Adjectives ending in y, add ily. Happy, happily. Angry, angrily. Adjectives ending in le, add ly. terrible, terribly, capable, capably. An adverb answers these questions: how, when, where, and to what extent. Now let's consider them one by one. Adverbs answering the how question. She quickly agreed to my idea. How did she agree? Quickly. The rain fell softly. You need to drive carefully in this weather. She did well in the test. Next is adverbs answering when. May we go out tomorrow? Go out when? Tomorrow. Be sure to water these flowers daily. We'll see you later. I did my homework yesterday. Adverbs answering where. We lived there for 2 years. Lived where? There. I have the tests here. Please step up. I fell down. Now you try it. Come up with a sentence that contains an adverb that answers where. Adverbs answering the question on to what extent or to what degree. I'm completely content. To what degree? Completely. He hardly moved. I'm too honest to cheat. I never sing in front of other people. I can't dance. Now you try it. Come up with a sentence that contains an adverb that answers to what extent. And now let's consider adverbs modifying verbs. For example, the children laughed loudly. Here, loudly describes the verb laugh in the past tense. I could almost smell the skunk from here. First write your names on the exam. I'll meet you there tomorrow. Next are adverbs modifying adjectives. Beth did an exceptionally fine job. She's a very good worker. Slightly cooler temperatures are expected. That baby is so cute. You are too late for the party. Please have a look at this slide and write down a table of adverbs that frequently modify adjectives and learn them by heart. Completely, especially, quite, dangerously, extremely, rather, definitely, largely, surprisingly, dreadfully, mainly, terribly, entirely, mostly, and unusually. And here are adverbs modifying other adverbs. Calvin was almost always there. We'll meet shortly afterwards. She crawled through extremely carefully. Note, although most adverbs end in ly, the ly ending does not automatically mean that the word is an adverb. Many adjectives end in ly as well, such as the daily newspaper, an only child, a friendly person, etc. So be careful. As stated, you have noticed that not all adverbs end in ly, such as far, not, to, etc. So the only way to really tell if something is an adverb is to ask yourself what question the word is answering. This is where it becomes very important to differentiate between the adjective and adverb questions. The solution is they must be memorized. Now let's have a look at adverbs that don't end in ly, one by one, starting with so and such. We use so and such to make the meaning of an adjective or adverb stronger. I didn't enjoy the book. The story was so stupid. I didn't enjoy the book. It was such a stupid story. So is also very frequently used before an adjective or an adverb to make the meaning of the adjective or adverb stronger and reflects emphatic usage. For example, why are you so late? We've been waiting for ages. There was an accident on the motorway and it took me so long to get from Sheffield to Leeds. Why are you driving so slowly? It's not safe to drive any faster. Such has a similar meaning, and it's used with nouns or with an adjective plus noun. For example, it's such a nice day today. Why don't we go out for a picnic? It was such a good film that we stayed on and watched it twice. She's such a difficult child, and he has such patience. So is followed by an adjective or an adverb. For example, it's a lovely day. It's so warm that we're going on a picnic. Laura speaks English so quickly that I can hardly understand her. Next is such plus an plus a noun that's countable and singular. For example, he told us such a story that we couldn't believe him. Such plus a noun that's uncountable or countable but plural. There were such nice students in my dorm that I made friends very quickly. It was such lovely weather that we spent the whole day on the beach. Notice nouns can be modified by adjectives. Notice the difference here between so long and such a long time. I haven't seen her for so long I've forgotten what she looks like. I haven't seen her for such a long time. So far and such a long way. I didn't know that place was so far. I didn't know there was such a long way to get to that place. Next, so much, so many, and such a lot. Why did you buy so much food? Why did you buy such a lot of food? Now let's move on to to and enough. Both to and enough are used to talk about how much or how little of something there is. We use to describe the negative effect of having something more than necessary. It's too cold to work in the garden. It's too late to see the film now. It started 20 minutes ago. We use enough to describe the effects of having or not having the right amount of something. John isn't patient enough to work as a teacher. The dress isn't big enough. Enough can also be used before a noun to mean all that is necessary. I don't drink enough water. Do you eat enough vegetables? My brother doesn't do enough exercise. Let's also have a look at these forms. To plus an adjective or adverb. We didn't play tennis yesterday. It was too cold. We couldn't swim. The water was too cold. I'd like to buy this jacket, but it's too expensive. The man's voice was too soft. He spoke too softly. Not plus an adjective or adverb plus enough. We couldn't hear the music. It wasn't loud enough. We couldn't swim. The water wasn't hot enough. We need another ladder. This one isn't long enough. We need 2 pizzas. This one is not big enough for 4 people. After to, enough, and not, we can use the to infinitive or for plus a noun or pronoun. For example, he's too young to go to work. He's not old enough for the job. These jeans are not clean enough to wear to the party. Okay, now we have approached the end of our lesson. As a second activity, I would like to ask you to link these sentences using to and enough, and also using not. Here they are. Please have a look.